You're talking so loud.
Yeah, I always do.
Can you turn it down?
No. Cool. Let's just kind of get into it. So let's start with you, Jake. First, I just want to ask you, how did you get into teaching at GiantSteps?
Well, my younger brother, Sammy, he's been going to GiantSteps since he was, I don't know, 3 or 4, and he's 19 now, so he's been there for a while. He started there in like the early learning part, and now he's in the college, so he's gone through the whole process. And I don't know, I've just always had a passion for disability, I guess, especially like working in it and stuff like that. I've always been around it, obviously with my brother. It's what I like to do. It's what I'm passionate for. So I mean, GiantSteps is a good place to start. It's one of the best schools in the country, and I've also obviously got connections there because of my my brother being there for so long. So when I finished high school, I started working at like respite care and as a support worker and stuff, and then I applied for a job at GiantSteps, and I got it. And I've been there since late term 2 this year. So I'm pretty fresh there. Like I've only really just started working there this year, but hopefully I'll be working there for a while.
What about you, Jess? So you're not currently teaching there, but when you did start, what kind of got you into it in the first place?
So it was actually Jake's dad asked me if I was interested in teaching them sport, and then it actually took off, and I was doing it like 4 or 5 times a day. And I started coaching them gymnastics, and they were coming in and we were doing gymnastics with them. When I say gymnastics, it is gymnastics, but like for them, it's just like the little things that we wouldn't think of, like, you know, balancing on the beam or like swinging on the bars. But not only that, it was for them to get out in the community, and they were being physically active. And like I said, they were getting out in the community. It was. And then after that, they asked me to go to the school, and I was working with the school, and I went in, I did some classroom teaching.
And Jack, you were saying before you worked a 13-hour day today?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you find yourself doing on a day-to-day basis, especially on those long ones?
So today I worked at GiantSteps for the full school day shift, pretty much, so 8 to 4 in the secondary part of the school. And then I've actually got a job at a respite house. So one of the guys, his name's Patrick. His dad is Steve Anthony, who is like a co-founder of GiantSteps. So he's like one of the originals of GiantSteps, like when it first opened. And I work at his respite house. So he's in his 30s now. I think he's 31. So I work at his house with him, and it's just like support worker type stuff, you know. Cooking them dinner, making sure they have a shower and stuff like that, and then I guess just chilling out with them for a few hours. I do that as soon as I leave GiantSteps in the day. I go and pick him up from the college, which is on the same side, I guess, and then take him back to the house in Chatswood. Yeah, I do that from 4 until 9.
Wow. And how are you feeling? Like, are you usually pretty buggered after long days such as this?
No, it's all right. It's all right.
You take it in your stride?
I mean, like, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't find it like tiring or something like that, because it's just so rewarding, like the whole day. Like you don't feel like it's draining on you, because you just feel good about you. I mean, yeah, you feel good about yourself afterwards. I mean, because you're making their life better and easier. I mean, and they have fun as well. Like he enjoys. I haven't worked with him for that long, but I think he enjoys hanging out with me and stuff. Because a lot of it is just like sitting with him and like just chilling out, because he doesn't get that often. Like it's a lot of people trying to just take care of him and tell him what to do and stuff, but he doesn't get a lot of like just hanging out with people, you know. I think they miss that a little bit. So it's a little bit of a good aspect of being a support worker, I think.
It sounds like you're more of his friend as well.
Yeah, well, I reckon I am. I don't know if he would say the same thing, but yeah, definitely.
But it's also
sure
like Jake said, like, yeah, but it's like Jake said, like he's not tired. And I always think that if I am, when I'm working with them, if I do feel tired, like this is only, you know, like I know that Jake had a 13-hour day today, but if you do like only an 8-hour day, you know, we all get tired no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, imagine, I always think of their families, how much we're helping them. Like they do this every day. Like, you know, it's nothing.
Definitely. Well, I mean,
for
I know how it is because that's my brother. I lived with my brother my whole life, so I know what it's like at home. GiantSteps is only for 8 to 4 or whatever. Like they don't get care. When the kids come home, they're back at home again. So I know what it's like, the home time as well. It's definitely still tough. So yeah, it's good to have not seen it from both sides, I guess. Now that I'm working GiantSteps, I know what it's like at home, and I also know what it's like at school as well. So it gives you like a good gauge of the behaviors and stuff like that, I guess.
It gives you a very unique perspective, Jake, kind of coming from both ends.
Yeah,
and I reckon you both hit the nail on the head with that as well. That was definitely my personal experience. Like something I always thought about in the back of my head when I was doing support work is that obviously, you know, you're only doing it from a set amount of time. You got family such as yourself, as yours, Jake, who, you know, it's obviously like a 24/7 job.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my parents could definitely agree with that it's like a 24-hour job. Yeah. I mean, they, like most of the parents obviously will still work, so they go to work and then they have to come home and then keep working, I guess, trying to help and maintain and keep them safe and all that stuff. So it's definitely tough.
I mean, that kind of feeds into what my next question was for both of you guys. I mean, Jess, if you want to start, I guess obviously you've both contributed so much to a lot of these students, I guess, you know, lives on a daily basis. What do you reckon you've got from them? What have you learned?
Like, what have I learned? Like I said, it's really rewarding. It's just like the little things, like you really appreciate the little things in life, and like there's so much, like even just like doing daily activities, like the things that you don't notice it, but like I said, even just talking about Jake, you know, his brother, he has to go home from work, or his parents as well, but you know, like for us, we could just come home and if we wanted to, like get into bed. We don't have any really other responsibilities to deal with, whereas sometimes you forget about that, and it's just, you really like take it for granted.
The only real last question I had for you guys was, why do you think people should donate to GiantSteps? Jake, if you want to start.
I mean, they need fundraising to keep open. Like they don't, without fundraisers, they won't keep open. Like they need to, I don't know what the number is. It's a crazy number. Like it's not even believable. I think it's close to 6 figures, or even it is 6 figures. So they need to fundraise every year just to keep it going. Like just to make sure they have the right resources and they have the right teachers and they pay their teachers and stuff like that. So I mean, they get funding from the government and stuff, but it's not enough. Like without all their fundraisers, they would have to close. They wouldn't have enough money to keep operations going. And I mean, 2020 has been a bit of a tough year for everyone, obviously. And all of their fundraisers obviously didn't go ahead. So the ball is the big one, the stair climb. They do like a golf day and all this other stuff. And it just obviously couldn't happen because of COVID. And I think they would have lost out on close to $1 million in fundraising because of those things. So, I mean, if there's a time to donate to GiantSteps, it's definitely this year. I know they're definitely in a tough spot for sure.
Like Jake said, it's been a tough year for everyone, but I can only imagine how hard it would be for GiantSteps. Like Jake said, the biggest events that they usually do have to fundraise, unfortunately, you know, couldn't go ahead because of COVID-19. And they did their best to fundraise in other ways, but it's, you know, it's just not enough.
Yeah, like it's tough to do fundraisers without like gatherings and stuff. Like you can't really. How do you really fundraise for stuff without doing events? Like it's kind of hard, especially like most of the big ones I've said before. The ball is like a giant dinner and ball and stuff like that, and you can't have that. Like it's like probably like 400, 500 people that will go to it. You can't have that now. And the stair climb, you can't do that either because it's people racing up the stairs. Like and I think the ball is like gets around like $600,000 to $800,000 in that night fundraise. So it's a big loss to not have it.
To kind of add on to that as well.
Sorry. No,
There
I
you
was
go.
just going to say, like Jake said, that the school, it is, some of it is government funded, but the rest you have to fundraise. And yeah, it's just not enough. Like I said, I can only imagine how hard it would have been for them this year.
Well, like I was saying to you guys before, right? So I was lucky enough to attend one of GiantSteps movie nights just back in, I think it was August.
Yeah.
And obviously it was a great event, went really well. It was sold out, but even with COVID restrictions for that, you can only have so many people and so many seats with spaced out, etc. So obviously you're not getting nowhere near as many numbers as you get at your annual ball. Like you were saying, what was it, 600 to 800 people, 500 people?
Yeah, close to
Yeah, you're not getting any of that. Well, hey guys, that was it. Unless there's any other comments you want to make or anything else you want to voice out.
Not necessarily.
Cool. Well, thanks heaps. Makes such a difference, actually hearing from staff and ex-staff members as opposed to just me talking about it.
Sounds good.
All right,
right.
thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it.
See you later. Thanks.